Hi there, Interbet fans. Let's start again. Hi there, Interbet fans, and welcome to the preview for today's Greyville meeting. We're on the turf. We've got an 8-race program. We kick off at 12:35, 23 pentrometer, so the course is in fantastic condition, and 5.5 meter false rail, and it's a wonderful card. I think that there's some real good opportunities after a very good day at Turfentine yesterday and at the Breeders' Cup. Let's have a look at race 1, which is a maiden plate, and they go 1,200 meters. And I like Avro Lancaster here. I think he's the right horse. He's drawn wide, which is not in his favour, but I think the way the course will run today will be very fair, and everyone's got a chance. Great to be captain's got to be the big danger, and it looks like an absolute race in 2. If you're looking for a third horse for the boys, have a look at them canter down. Not a bad barrier. You'd expect this horse to go on from there, but quite interesting that Avro Lancaster looks like he put up the best barrier, and his first run he was very green and I thought it was too short for him. Wiley's Choice might be a fourth inclusion for your quartets. Race 2, maiden plate, 1,400 meters, 2-cornered contest. Donetto, I like him. I think he's a very big each-way chance here. DeMello rides him, and he's riding pretty well at the moment. Fred, he gets a Cornell collar, which is always worrying. Gets Marcus, which is never a worry because he's the best around. And then Temba. Sherman Brown rides this one for Alistair Gordon. I think this will run extremely well. Eagle's Vision had 2 good runs and comes back after second run after a rest. Elusive Force comes from Joburg. Have a close look at him. But I'm going with Donetto. I think his first run was very, very good. Race 3, 1,400 meter maiden plate. And here you can't go against Exion, the Johannesburg Raider from the Paul Peter Yard. Warren Kennedy rides it. Should be an absolute good thing. El Bolero and Minefield would be worth having a look at as big priced horses, but I can't see anything beating him, and he looks like the best bet on the card. Race 4, made and rated 92 fillies and mares that go 1,400 meters. Well, here I found some value for you. I like Statute. This filly's a big price, 8-1. This filly's got very good form. She's very useful, and she's going to run extremely well. What are the dangers? Well, Marsana's won 3 out of 4 starts, which is pretty good going. But is she as good as Statute? I'm not sure about that. And Dancing Feather comes back in trip. That's always a big concern. I think she's bred to go more ground rather than less ground. And she, held on late last time. I would think that against a filly like Statute, she's got a problem. Race 5, maiden plate, 1,900 meters. And this looks like a 2-cornered contest. Twice Golden is the obvious horse, and gets the blinkers fitted, huge runner. Ice Baron, Dean Canema's runner, very disappointing last time. Thought he'd win, and he just never went through with the effort, and got beaten by a pretty ordinary sort of a horse. So one wonders how good he is. And on that basis, I'm putting in a third horse, and that's Twice the Flight, Serena Mudley for the Mike Miller Yard. I think this horse will improve over the trip and is a big runner. Race 6, merit rated 78. They go 2,000 meters. And here you've got an absolute 2-cornered contest. Liverpool Champ, Warren Kennedy for Gavin Van Zyl, and Leicester Square, Glenn Cotson. Sean Veal takes a ride on it. It's interesting to see it's gone into John Butler's colours, the blue and white colours. So I think Leicester Square is a big runner here. I think he's got to have a big chance. If you're looking for a third horse, I'd go with Al Jackman. Ignore his last start. His start before that on the turf was pretty useful, so expect him to run well. Race 7, the Model Man Mile listed. Now, this just goes to show you put on one race on a card that's got some type of allure, and you'll find that the rest of the card looks much better. And this is a very good race. And I would think that the way to improve racing is put one of these races on every single meeting. And you'll find the better horses will come out. It will give them a chance to race. And certainly at these weights, they get a pretty good field of horses. But when you look at the weights, It looks like an absolute three-cornered contest, and I'm going to put in 4 horses because I think there's a fourth. Fool's Gold's the best horse in the race. Marcus gets to ride it. Special Blend, probably needed his last run. He'll run well. Monarchy, no one knows how good this horse is. We picked him up after he won his maiden, and I really think he'll run extremely well. I think he might be a very, very good horse for the Miller Yard. And then Jack's Bird, best rated filly in the horse in the race. She's got extremely good form, and certainly well worth having a close look at her as far as your horses to put in. Those are the 4 that I like. Battle of Elysia comes from Joburg. I think he just won a maiden. I know that he's probably flattered by the Zilzal form. And Into the Future gets the blinkers, which might improve him. So he'd be worth maybe throwing into much bigger perms. Race 8. This is a maiden plate. Fillies and mares that go 1,600 meters. And I like winter time here. I've been with this filly for a long time. They put the blinkers on it. They put markers on it. This is her last chance. She gets everything in her favor, and I'm going with her. The other 2, Ice Imperial gets the blinkers as well, and does look like the main danger. And Palm Heart, 2 very good runs from this filly. I think that she'll improve quite a lot, and she's certainly worth throwing into all your play. Bint Al Malak also got some sort of chance in nearly the same colours, and might be worth including. Right, let's go and have a look and see what I'm going to take Statute Each Way. I think it's a great each way bet, and I really think that she'll run really well. And I'm going to take the Miller horse in race 1, I think it is. No, the Miller horse is not in race 1. The Mike Miller horse is in race 5, twice the flight. Don't take an each way double those 2. I think that they're both big prices and certainly might be able to get the money. From me, James Goodman, and the whole Interbet crew, you have a great day's racing. I apologize for the podcast on Friday night. There seemed to be some type of trouble between me and Leon, and he never got it. But it's up on YouTube. Go and have a look if you want. We're always there on YouTube.